Oh, there he is. It's the guy that just got his Costco card and he wants a Traeger. You've reached that point in life. That's okay. It happens to everybody. So, should you pick up one of these Costco Traegers, go ahead, grab your wife, show her this video. It's okay. Yep, we're going to be on the same page. All right, let's talk about it in this video right now. So you guys have heard the saying, whatever grill you think is big enough, go up one. Now, I did that. This one's an 885. They had like I think it was in the 5s or 6s, and I thought that would be good. I got the 885, and I should have got 2 sizes up, right? Because it is true. Now, for 90-something% of the cooking that I do, this is actually probably overkill, quote unquote. But a couple things I do have to say. I wouldn't say negative, they're just factual, okay? There's not a lot of space between that lower grate and the upper grate. So, while you do have the upper grate and it is amazing, I'm probably going to use it, just the upper grate, for the chicken today. If you are cooking something bigger, like a bigger brisket, a big pork, say you're doing a pulled pork, sorry I was dropping a blank there. It's really hard to put those under those grates. So take some of the ratings that you see with a grain of salt, because a lot of times I end up just pulling those grates out to do something bigger like that. But I'll show you some cooks that I've done without the grates. You can still cook a lot of food. Now, I am certainly not what I would say a Traeger expert, but I can tell you one of the easiest parts about them is how easy they are to use. So all you gotta do, you come over, set your temp, hit ignite, and boom, she is going. Little tip, make sure you always start with your lid open, okay? Now, this one is a little bit cleaner than usual. I did just clean it up today, okay? So don't accuse me of being too clean or anything, but that is one thing with these Traegers, you gotta take care of them, okay? This one has given me absolutely zero problems whatsoever, never a single hiccup. So I don't know where some of the unreliability with Traeger comes from out there. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a barbecue professional. I'm not making, competition barbecue. But odds are, if you're watching this video, that's probably not you either. You just want to make good food for you, your family, the wife, the kids, whatever, right? Which, believe me, you will be making lots of food for the family, because once you get started with this, you will be the dedicated holiday cook. 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you name it. Which that is okay, because you can make some incredible food on this unit here. So I just wanted to take a couple minutes, show you guys this Traeger. I'm getting ready to make some chicken breasts. Actually, I'm not usually the biggest chicken breast fan, but I have a hack to make the bomb chicken breast, particularly on the Traeger. If you guys want to see a video like that, let me know. I also have the meter block probe, 4 probes in the block, whatever. I've used those quite a bit. If you guys want to see a video on that versus just the regular Traeger one here, let me know as well. I'd be happy to make both of those videos. But speaking of this probe that comes from Traeger, you can see mine's kind of balled up in a thing here. I've never had a problem with it. Works perfectly. Temperatures always seem accurate. They line up with what the meters say or any other probe that I've ever used say. So to me, it seems like it's a really good choice. Side tip, when you do use a Traeger, you got to get you some of these black gloves, man. Find them on Amazon. They are a lifesaver. Get ready to have all kinds of seasoning, all those things around, man, because once you get into this, it is a ton of fun. But back to the video. I'll show you this one on Costco's website. I'm pretty sure they still make it. It has the warming drawer here. I don't use the warming drawer. I used to use it for some like bastings and things like that if I was going to use it. I kind of stopped doing that recently. I don't know why. Maybe I should go back to using it. I don't know. Just not something that's really come in handy that many times for me unless I was really trying to make it handy, if that makes sense. But as you can hear, I'm going to get this cook started, show you guys this thing firing up, which it smokes a ton when you first fire it up after a cleaning or that first time. So, those of you that say Traegers don't smoke at all, let me know what you have to say about this. So, this is our chicken breast here. I got this one seasoned up pretty good, that one seasoned up pretty big. The 2 bigger pieces are mine with the more seasoning, and the lower pieces are my wife's. Speaking of your wife, make sure you have some extra baking pans because you will drive her nuts using up all of her baking pans. One thing to make a quick note about is, as you guys saw, I set the temperature to 200 degrees, okay? Now, Right now it's at 250 basically. What it does is, especially once it's first cleaned and you start it up that first time, it'll spike up a little bit above and then kind of walk its way back down. I've noticed it particularly after a cleaning, because essentially when you prime the auger, like I showed you earlier, throws a bunch of pellets in the firebox, lights them all, makes a lot of smoke, gets hot, and then regulates back down to temperature. So don't worry about that, but it is just something to make a note of. Also, don't just throw your food right on the grates as soon as you reach that temperature. I've done it, you can do it, it's not the end of the world, but there is something to that whole heat soaking thing that you guys have probably heard from watching other videos. One thing I wanted to do is show you guys the app real quick, okay? So it's super friendly, super easy to use. You open it up like this, boom, now it's open, okay? There's a lot of good tools in terms of recipes you can look up. I've used these recipes quite a bit. You can see we have our temperature down there in the bottom. Right now we're at 307. I don't know if you can see the screen on the grill, but that does line up. You can do all kinds of things, set the temperature. As I had mentioned earlier, it's doing that spike thing. Don't worry about it, it'll come back down, boom. You can change your temperature, so I'm in the house, I can raise it, lower it, check on it. When I have the probe in there, which maybe I'll put up a picture here, it opens another little thing that looks like the timer box next to the timer box that shows the probe, what you have it set at. You can also change the probe settings, all that good stuff. So it is super easy. This particular one has a feature called Keep Warm. So what that'll do is if there's something that you don't want to cook anymore, kind of like your oven, right? If you don't want it to be cooking anymore, but you want it to stay warm, boom, you hit Keep Warm. I don't remember the temperature. I want to say it's like 170, something like that. So that is a super nice feature to have as well. So overall, is this a good purchase? Absolutely. If it's something that you're interested in, if you like grilling, if you like barbecuing, it's super awesome, right? It's super convenient, super easy. I'm not going to get into the debate between this and an offset and a Weber and a whatever else, right? Not my thing, not what I do here. If you guys watch my channel at all, you know I kind of just do a broad stroke generalization of a lot of things and just talk about it, get a conversation going, right? I would be happy to do some more in-depth videos. Like I say, if you guys want to see some cooking videos, a meter breakdown, any of that stuff, please drop it in the comments. Let me know. It lets me know what you guys want to see. But other than that, is this Traeger a good investment? Absolutely. We've used the absolute crap out of it. Never had a hiccup. I'm sure you could find horror stories on the internet. Hasn't been my experience. I'm just a regular dude, comes in his backyard and uses it. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I use mostly Traeger pellets, believe or not, all the bad things you hear about it. But as I said, I'm not looking to make a competition-style barbecue or compete with an offset or win comps in Texas, right? Not my thing. I just want to make good food around the house, and I can promise you, I make way better food on here than I do on any kind of gas setup. I mean, it's really not even close for the kind of foods that you make on here. Same thing, I have a tri-tip recipe that's absolutely incredible that I've never really seen anybody make a video on, so maybe I should. Chicken breast, I make all the normal stuff, the briskets, the pulled porks. It's a lot of fun, and you can make such better food than you can in your oven or on your gas grill or your skillet or griddle or whatever else you have. So, believe it or not, as much as I have loved it, there are people I would say this isn't really the thing for. If you just want to make hamburgers, hot dogs, things like that, this isn't really the thing for you, right? If you want to get really smoky flavored stuff, there's ways to do it on, and this isn't just a Traeger thing, this is more of a pellet grill thing in general. You can get some pretty good smoke flavor, but it's never going to be something like an offset. But what the Traeger is good for is it's really good at a lot of different things. You can make hot dogs on here if you want to. You can make burgers. You can also make briskets and pulled porks, and hell, I've made mashed potatoes in here, right? I set the potatoes in here while I'm cooking everything else for Thanksgiving, mash them up, put them back on. Incredible. It's really just a, jack of all trades, master of a few kind of scenario. So if you just want one unit in your backyard that'll do everything you want to do, it's going to do a lot of things better than a gas grill. It's going to be a lot easier to use than an offset, but that doesn't make it perfect in all categories, but it is very well rounded. You can do absolutely anything pretty much. So here's our chicken, like I showed you a little bit earlier, I think. Got mine on the bottom, wife's on the top. I like mine a little more seasoned because I'm not as big of a chicken fan, but We got our probe here. I'm gonna set that in there and show you how to do it right now. All right, so our probe's in there. Just put it in the middle, in the thickest part. Now, like I said, I'm gonna put this on the top rack, so I'll touch base with you once it's up there, and I'll show you how the probe works. All right, we got our chicken up there on the top rack. Our probe, the cable is running through the little thing right here, running down to the bottom. So all we're gonna do now is plug it in, just like this. And then it'll ask you, do you want to set a probe alarm? Well, mine didn't, but normally it will. And then you just set it to whatever temperature you want. As you see, I just saved mine from last time at 155. Obviously, being chicken, we're going to turn it up a little more than that. I'll show you how to do it on the app right now. All right, so we'll go ahead and open up our app here. And then we'll just hit probe 1. I like to set chicken at 160. That way it notifies me when it's there and I know it's close. Still got a little bit to go, but that's all right. We'll see you guys here in just a sec. So as I mentioned, guys, just the ease of use with one of these is so amazing compared to a lot of other things. I'm not really ever doing fire management, none of that stuff. You just hit a few buttons, get your food on there, and boom, it's good to go. Like I say, this particular Traeger one from Costco has been incredible for me. I would want to upsize eventually, but for now, this does everything we needed to do, and gosh dang, those other ones are so expensive. That's why you gotta love Costco. So that's gonna pretty much do it, guys. Just wanted to touch on a few key points there. To me, it is absolutely worth every single dollar. I absolutely love this thing. It's incredible. I think they still sell this one. If they don't, I'm sure there's a similar one you could get that would be also just as worth it. Anything from Traeger, in my experience, is pretty solid. So, like I said, guys, drop a like. I'll post some shorts of the chicken once it is done. You guys can check those out as well. Let me know if you want to see any of those videos mentioned, tri-tip, chicken breast, any of that stuff. Leave it in the comments, let me know, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.